Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Fantasy Football Week 3 injury updates. I'm basically going to be going over every injury that has importance to your fantasy rosters and potentially could help you either win or lose the week. I just wanted to make sure that on a weekly basis, I do this video in order to help you guys make decisions on which players you should start, especially for those of you conflicted with injury issues. I'm also going to be leaving my description area for this video as a place to update you guys on injuries. I know tomorrow morning we'll get majority of the news on who's going to start or potentially be out for the week. Many of the teams in the NFL like to have their players go out, do warm-ups, and they'll get a better sense from then if they're a start or a sit. In my terms, start or sit. But the way I see it, majority of the updates will probably come tomorrow morning prior to 10 p.m. Pacific or 1 Eastern Standard Time, depending on what time zone you're at. Anyway, so let's start by just getting into this video. Hey everybody, how's it going? Okay, so many of these guys are going to be names that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, and honestly, it's beginning to get a little frustrating. Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. This is the second week in a row where Devontae Freeman is going to be out. If you're a Tevin Coleman owner, you're extremely happy. If you're like me and you own shares of Devontae Freeman and you thought, wow, he's going to have a great year this year, he should be able to, if he stays healthy. And majority of Devontae Freeman's issues have always been revolving around the concussions that he sustained, never around any knee problems. But this time it looks bad, and I don't know when we'll get him back. But as of right now, if you own Tevin Coleman, you got to start him. I mean, this isn't obvious. We've been talking about this for the last week or so, so I'm sure you guys are up to date with the issue. Let's go ahead and move on to the next injury that I want to talk about. All right, it was announced earlier this week that J.J. and Darren Sproles will both be out this coming week when the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Indianapolis Colts in Philadelphia. Corey Clement is going to be the starting running back, but the issue that I'm hearing around is the idea that Corey Clement isn't also fully healthy. He's got a quadricep issue, which is probably going to, bug him, but I don't think it prevents him from playing. Let's say, for example, we wake up tomorrow morning, or for those of you who just don't sleep, you have a cup of coffee, you're relaxing, ready to start your day, and we hear Corey Clement is out. I need you guys to run over to your waivers and look for Wendell Smallwood. Okay, if in fact that J.J., Darren Sproles, and Corey Clement are all three out come tomorrow morning, you need to go out and you need to acquire Wendell Smallwood. He is the fourth running back within this Eagles lineup. He played a couple snaps last week, had a decent amount of touches behind Corey Clement and J.J., enough to where he's fresh, right? He played a good amount last season when Darren Sproles went down and J.J. had not been traded for yet. So I think Wendell Smallwood could be good, just to be safe. Watch out. Corey Clement is not fully healthy. He's been given the questionable tag. So just be careful. Otherwise, as soon as they say he's all systems go, he stays in your lineup and he has a great week, okay? Let's move on to the next person I want to talk about. Obviously, I mentioned this last week. It's no big deal. Joe Mixon, he's out for the next couple weeks. If you're a Giovanni Bernard owner, here's the thing that you have to understand. Giovanni Bernard is not a starting running back that is going to eat up 20, touches a game. He's not built for that. He's mainly a third down running back. Now, when you put a third down running back into an offense in which you want him to carry the ball 18 plus times and also contribute in the passing game, it might be a lot for him. Okay. As of right now, against the Carolina Panthers defense, who's pretty, stout against the run, this last week, Tevin Coleman and Ito Smith both combined for, if I'm not mistaken, over 150 yards rushing. So they absolutely worked that defense. I think Giovanni Bernard, if he's going to be successful, will find some success in the passing game. So I love him in PPR, half-point PPR scoring formats. So watch out for him there. Otherwise, start him. He's healthy and he's ready to go. All right, so this next group of people I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. like we mentioned last week, and that we've been talking about for the last, good amount of time since week 1 when Leonard Fournette left the game against the Giants. The idea of Leonard Fournette's hamstring and whether he's going to come back has always been in question. TJ Yeldon was majority of the topic last week. Should I start Yeldon? Blah, 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 this. And because of Yeldon's participation in practice, it was limited on Wednesday. It's kind of given us a better signal on what we are to expect. The way I see it, he was limited all week. Chances are he's going to give it a shot tomorrow. If he is, he feels to himself in pregame warmups, he's going to start and he's going to play. That does not mean that Leonard Fournette is going to have all of the carries to himself. They still have Yeldon, which is dealing with an ankle injury, and they also have Corey Grant, who pretty much runs the passing game for them exclusively, in my opinion, especially when Leonard Fournette and Yeldon are a little banged up. So this is the way I see it. I think the main benefactor, no matter whether Leonard Fournette starts, is going to be Blake Bortles and, Keelan Cole, D.D. Westbrook, Moncrief, ASJ, right? And why do I think that? I think as soon as the offense was opened up last week against the Patriots and you didn't have to continuously rely upon Leonard Fournette and his production, Blake Bortles was able to dissect the defense. They were running crossing routes, right? Just, slants and drags, and they were just annihilating this Patriots defense. I think this coming week against the Titans team, they have a good defense. Their offense is a little rough, so the Jacksonville defense is going to be able to, manipulate that. I think Blake Bortles is going to be a main benefactor this week. If you have a Keelan Cole, if you have a D.D. Westbrook that you're considering starting in a flex spot, this should be more of a reason to do so. I think Leonard Fournette tomorrow morning will get a better idea of whether he's going to play or not. If you're quite, let's say for example, you're watching this video now, just stop by tomorrow at around, let's say 30 minutes before the Jacksonville game starts, and in my description, you'll already know. Or you can just look it up. It doesn't matter. Either way. Let's move on to the bigger news from this week. Dalvin Cook was, I don't even understand. These injuries are just ridiculous. It happens, right? Dalvin Cook, coming off that ACL injury, has a little bit of a hamstring, strain this week. It's okay, no big deal. Latavius Murray is the talk of the town. He is the guy that everyone wants to know if they should start. I'm making a definitive statement right here, right now. He's an absolute start, okay? I said it in my Gauntlet video yesterday. He should 100% be starting on your team. They're playing against the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills defense is, if not the worst team, I'm not sure. There's probably a statistic on it. I should have looked it up, but it's okay. They've probably given up the most points to the running back position this year, because honestly, I don't know if a defense could be worse than theirs. They don't get any help from their offense. Their special teams don't make a difference. The way I see it, Latavius Murray was able to carry the rock for the Vikings all of last season. He had about 800 yards rushing, a good amount of touchdowns. I think with 18 to 20 touches this coming game against the defense, which is not great, I think, Latavius Murray is set up for a great game. If not, a next couple, of weeks of great production. I like Latavius Murray. He should 100% be starting for your fantasy team. Many of you have asked the question, should I start Latavius Murray over David Johnson? Now, if you play in a standard league, I would 100% buy in on that. If you play in a full PPR, that's where it gets a little bit sketchy, in which, let's say, for example, Latavius Murray doesn't corral in that elusive touchdown. David Johnson could have a potential of contributing in the passing game, because that's been the topic for the Cardinals this entire week. We're going to get David Johnson the ball in the pass game. We're going to let him make plays. We're going to give him the opportunity. So in a PPR, I want to believe in their coaching staff in the Cardinals, and I want to believe in the idea that they're going to feed David Johnson the ball. So that would be the only reason I would start David Johnson over Latavius Murray this coming week. Okay, so the next, pretty crazy, huh? Marlon Mack, not healthy week 1. Week 2, plays. Week 3, back to the shelf. The way I see it, I don't know if Marlon Mack's going to be healthy for any time soon. I think with the opportunities Jordan Wilkins has gotten, he's set to just be the starter for the rest of the season, I guess, but he's not, making an impact like I would expect. Perhaps they just miss Frank Gore. Maybe here it is, Ryan Turbin, the name I was looking for earlier this week. Maybe when Ryan Turbin comes back, they're going to feed him the rock because, they like their Ryan Turbin. Otherwise, Jordan Wilkins in a deeper league, I wouldn't even play him this week against the Eagles. It's too sketchy of a specific matchup. I don't like any running backs against the Eagles. It's just not a good matchup, especially in Philly. It's not a good go. So do not think about starting any running backs from the Colts this coming week. The only Colts that you should start, I'll get into that as we progress onto this video. So Marcus Mariota and Corey Davis, another two that we've been talking about. There's another group of people we've been talking about, same people from last week. And it's really unfortunate the way I see it. Marcus Mariota dealing with that elbow injury on his throwing arm. The way I see it, if he doesn't play, okay, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to absolutely destroy the Tennessee Titans offense. Okay, that's the way I see it. Now, if Marcus Mariota does play, there is still a good opportunity that they get destroyed. Okay, and he gets pulled because he gets hit in the pocket. Yes, Tyler Lewan and Jack Conklin should be healthy. Taylor Lewan went through concussion protocol. He should be fine, the left tackle. Jack Conklin is still labeled as questionable. He'll probably get to start tomorrow. He'll probably play tomorrow. The way I see it, when the Tennessee Titans play the Jacksonville Jaguars, they like to feed Derrick Henry the ball. They're probably going to do so a lot tomorrow. So just expect that to happen 100%. But on Corey Davis terms, if Marcus Mariota doesn't play, do not expect to even play him. And even when he plays, it's going to be a very deep wide receiver to 3 play because you have to worry about A.J. Boye and you have to worry about Jalen Ramsey. So that's my only concern when it comes to this situation. It sucks. They're in a very, very tough matchup, and they're not looking healthy and firing on all cylinders. Okay, so another quarterback, right? We got Carson Wentz coming back this week. I mean, it took him long enough, right? No, honestly, they may have rushed him back, but hopefully he's healthy. I don't know what kind of Carson Wentz we're going to get tomorrow. Many of you have asked, should I start Carson Wentz over Cam Newton? Should I start Carson Wentz over Phillip Rivers? Should I start Carson Wentz over Jimmy G, Matthew Stafford, Big Ben, Ryan Fitz? I mean, just various amounts of questions in which I don't know what kind of answer to give you. I don't know what kind of Carson Wentz we're getting this week. Are we going to get the Carson Wentz who's not afraid of getting hit, the mobile one that is going to be able to make plays and extend plays with his legs? I don't know. They're playing against a Indianapolis Colts defense who looked pretty good last week against the Redskins. I mean, they held the Redskins for majority of that game, and they won handily, right? Even with Andrew Luck turning over the multiple times. The way I see it, Carson Wentz coming back from injury is a great thing. It helps all Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz owners. Also, as I mentioned before, Clement is going to be making plays in the passing game, and Carson Wentz is going to help him out there. Here's the thing, too. A lot of the Eagles' offense is based on that RPO, that run-pass option. I don't know. Let's say, for example, they run the run-pass option. They fake the run, and he's about to throw the ball, and, there's already pressure in his face. Okay, he messed up. He didn't make the right read. What happens when Carson Wentz has to run away from the D lineman? Is he full speed go? I mean, the way I see it, they probably wouldn't put him out there if he wasn't fully healthy, So the way I see it, against a Colts defense secondary, which is thin, there's a good potential that Carson Wentz can be a top 10 quarterback this week. There's a very good potential, okay? Yes, he doesn't have Alshon Jeffrey. Yes, he doesn't have J.J., but he's got the best offensive line in the NFL. As long as he's healthy and they're willing to start him and he's ready to play, then that means that, they feel comfortable that their franchise quarterback is healthy and ready to come back. Definitive statement time. I would start Carson Wentz probably over let's see. Let's put it this way. Who wouldn't I start Carson Wentz over? Mahomes has to play this week. Big Ben has to play this week. Tom Brady has to play this week. Breeze has to play this week. Rodgers, Cousins, Stafford. Am I forgetting anybody? Honestly, like Jimmy G, I'd probably play Carson Wentz over. As I mentioned before, Cam Newton, I'd probably play Carson Wentz over him. Andrew Luck, I'd play Carson Wentz over him. Phillip Rivers, I'd play Carson Wentz over him. Goff, I don't know. I like Goff this week. Anyway, it's not a quarterback video. Just giving you the update. If you have any questions, go down in the comment section. All right, the next topic. Excuse me. We got Marvin Jones and we have Kenny Galladay, right? Marvin Jones this entire week been limited with an ankle injury. The way I see it, let's say, for example, they almost look identical. They got the nose tape, but the only difference is their number, I swear. With helmets on, they are very, very similar nose up. I don't know what it is, just from this angle. Anyway, Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, the way I see it this coming week, both of these guys are extremely talented and they have really good matchups this week. I like Marvin Jones because he's always got that threat of the upside of his touchdown and his deep bomb play. But Kenny Galladay is continuing to insert himself in this offense. If Marvin Jones is not healthy tomorrow, my God, you should be you should already be starting Kenny Galladay full steam ahead. He's my start of the week at the wide receiver position. He should 100% already be starting. But if you were ever having doubts, as soon as Marvin Jones, he's already questionable. If he's not playing tomorrow, Marvin Jones, 100% Kenny Galladay's got to play. There will be few people that I would start over Kenny Galladay tomorrow against that very, very weak New England Patriots defense. Okay, so let's move on. Last couple topics. All right, Marcus Goodwin, okay? Marquise, not Marcus, okay? I get it. All right, people, I get it. Marquise Goodwin, all right? I'll just say Pierre Garçon. How about that? We'll say Garçon. I'll put the accent on it too. Okay, thanks. So Marquise Goodwin, this week, having that thigh injury. After that week 1 where he tried to make a crack block, he got hit in the thigh, was out for the game, didn't play week 2. It's not been looking good. Being a full, being at the wide receiver position and being like an Olympic sprinter in which your entire basis of why you're so good is your speed. If you can't run because your thigh hurts, you're probably not going to play, right? The way I see he's been questionable and limited all week long. He's gotten a couple limited snaps at practice, but what difference does that make? The way I see it, he is another guy that's going to be a game time decision. Before the game starts, he's going to be warming up. If he feels ready, he may play. But even then, okay, I would still worry because let's say, for example, he goes out there, tweaks his thigh or something, I don't know, and he starts hobbling around. He gets hit in it. He gets hit in the leg. Then what happens? Boom, there's 1 point on your bench, and he goes to the locker room, never comes back. Just a thing to, worry about, just to put it out there. The main benefactors, obviously, is Pierre Garçon. Jimmy G is not a benefactor of Marcus Goodwin going out, especially against the defense, which, yes, they're not great, but if Eric Berry decides to play tomorrow, they're considerably better at the, safety position and in the secondary. The way I see it, Pierre Garçon is obviously the immediate benefactor with Kittle, a little bit of Dante Pettis here and there, Matt Breida. Otherwise, as of right now, I'd probably leave Marquise Goodwin in your lineup. Did I forget to say Garçon? Yeah, Garçon. Pierre Garçon. So right now, I'd probably leave Marquise Goodwin in your lineup, but be ready. Just come back to this video and look in the description of the video. I will let you know if you should be starting Marquise Goodwin. And keep your eye on for Pierre Garçon. He has the potential of being a pretty good sneaky hidden gem this week. Okay, anyway, we're moving on. The last 2 guys I want to talk about really quickly before I get out of here. Jack Doyle and Eric Ebron. Jack Doyle, hip injury, was named to be one of the injured players that is out this week for the Colts. Kind of a surprise, but then again, is it really? They have Eric Ebron. They don't need to rush back Jack Doyle. The way I see it, Eric Ebron is going to be a stud this week. He is a guy, like, honestly, I want to say he's my start of the week. Like, I want to audible it and say Eric Ebron can be a start of the week this week. The way that O.J. Howard was able to produce against the Eagles last week, why not Eric Ebron? Eric Ebron's the second leading receiver within this Colts offense and behind T.Y. Hilton. He's looking good. 2 touchdowns, 2 games. The way I see it, Andrew Luck, you see his face right there, his little giddy smile. The way I see it, I think Eric Ebron is going to be a big part of this offense, and I think he's going to be able to produce, and I like him this week a lot. And that's basically it, everybody. So anyway, thank you for watching. For those of you who have subscribed, I appreciate it. Keep bringing the questions. I like it. Anyway, if you haven't, please go down to the comment section, leave a question. If you need something to be answered before tomorrow, as soon as the games start tomorrow, I usually don't answer questions. Majority of my time is spent in front of the TV, yelling, screaming, praying, and hoping that guys on NFL Red Zone, the update as soon as the guy's like, all right, we have blah 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 from the Titans versus Jaguars, and they pan over and Blake Bortles scores a touchdown. I'm jumping up and down. I'm excited. That's what I'm pretty much doing. So if you have any questions and you don't get them in before 10 Pacific and 1 Eastern, then don't expect a response, honestly, because majority of my day is conceived of just sitting in front of the TV and enjoying myself. Anyway, so come back tomorrow. Check the description box, see what kind of updates we got. Anyway, other than that, hope you guys have a great fantasy weekend, and hopefully everybody wins. But understand that nobody is going to win every single game. Understand that losses happen. I lost by 1 point in one of my leagues this past week. It is what it is. You get better from it. Anyway, have a good weekend. Until next time, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys Monday. Waivers.